Welcome to Metal as Medicine. This is your host, Erik, and I'm sitting here at Muninn's Post with Odinfist from Armstrong, BC.
Hi, guys. My name's Jesse from Odinfist. Introduce your guys yourselves.
My name is Justin
You need to speak
from
closer.
Odinfist.
You need to speak closer to that.
My name is Justin from
Thank you.
Odinfist.
I'm Brad from Odinfist, drummer.
I'm Tyler. I'm from a different band, but they let me hang out, so... Hey, what's up?
That's not true at all. He's the lead singer of Odinfist.
Nah.
He's got the personality,
He is the personality of Odinfist.
the band personality.
Yes.
So we were just mentioning before I hit record that it took a while for this album to come out.
Yes, it took very long. We decided to track it ourselves. And Justin was our recording master. And he's very easygoing.
Yeah, basically our biggest problem was we took it into our own hands and went at our own pace, but stuff happens. Then before you know it, you're going like weeks without recording anything. And
Yeah.
we were-
Our own pace is... We'll get to it. We'll have it out this March, for sure. This March, absolutely. Here we are 2 Marches later.
Like, really that long? Like, actually 2 marches later, hey?
I was done drums in 2012.
Wow.
No. That's not true. That's not true.
2017. He
But
was
you're-
done. He was done drums in
He
2017.
was on the drums in 2017.
But
2003.
that's only because he skipped a song. So
There was a song omitted from this album.
Oh, there was, hey? Yeah. And it was omitted because there were no drums tracked for it?
That's right. That's
it was
correct.
omitted because it was. I wrote it, so it was admittedly far too ambitious. Without.
It was too hard for us to play.
But yes, and it
Saying
also,
it's ambitious
if I'm gonna
is
be
a
honest,
really nice way of
it
putting
was
it's too
not
hard for us to play.
worth us putting in the effort to learn how to play and record it when the rest of the album was ready to go.
Every time we
'cause-
tried to play it, he was so disappointed with us that we couldn't sit in the same room after jam.
Oh, okay.
That's we could, but I'd be staring you down. Like, really? But honestly, it could have used a lot of editing.
Like, really? You played it like that?
The song could have been. It could have used some work. Maybe it will one day show up again, but probably not as long and convoluted as it was when we tried to record it.
By the time you do record it, it'll be like an entire album that's just
Exactly,
one long
yeah.
song,
I'll-
which is that song.
We'll take the good ideas and turn it into an album.
There you go. Yeah. Into the next concept album, right?
Yes. Concept album. The next one's going to be a space album.
Ooh, cool.
Actually, it might end up just being a space EP. And even then, it may not even be a space EP. It might just be one
it's not
single song that
happening.
we never end up playing.
And
I want a space album.
and then it may also not even come out, so it may not even exist.
That's true.
Yeah. We have a lot of ambitious goals that we talk about that end up failing.
I'm actually with Jesse on putting out the space album. I don't think it's going to be the next one. We've got some even worse ideas that have to happen first. The
Ragnarok and roll.
You gave it away.
Oh, shit.
You're worse than Tom Holland.
Okay, so I just ruined this whole podcast.
Yeah, for some reason we have new album title and artwork ready for the next
we
album.
have no song.
So-
and that
we don't
happened-
have a song.
We don't have any songs.
We have the
And this
artwork.
happened before this one came out. So
It's like Odin Fist presents a compilation album
yeah,
of
something
other
like-
bands.
We've
That's
been
not a
trying to
bad
get
idea.
Zool to play for us instead of us actually going on stage for a long time. We message them sometimes when we're playing in Vernon. We'll be like, "Can you guys just play instead of us, but just call yourselves Odinfist?" and then Marlo usually texts me back and says, "No."
No.
I'm sorry in advance for anyone listening to this. It's going to sound like a lot of garbage because we've developed our own language amongst us as a band. And, we say things that we only get because of an instance one time very long ago that's not even funny enough to explain.
Okay.
basically
Just to beat around, though.
we've been told our whole band is just one inside joke and only we get it. So that's mostly true. To be
It's
honest.
mostly true. It's mostly true.
That's okay. I think I've heard that eventually somewhere as well. Somebody mentioned that Odin Fist is like this elusive band that jokes around all the time, and they're from Armstrong, and they've somehow been like one of the only Okanagan bands to release more than one album.
Yeah, somehow.
Somehow
We don't know
we're
how.
still a band that produces music.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this is album number 5. And we've been
This is-
around
yes.
13 years.
Yes.
Right.
13 years now.
Yeah, we're going pretty good considering. You know, we all have day jobs and we don't like each other, and like it's
So it's like
It's-
any
it's a
other
good time.
relationship.
We've found a way to make it work long term.
we should talk about the album.
Just doing it for the kids.
We're doing it for the music. We're not doing it for each other. We're just gonna stick it out until they can go along and go to college.
But most importantly, you're doing it for the fans.
Yes, we have. Well, we had about 4
Or
of them.
sorry, the fan.
You're welcome,
we had
Chad.
we had 4 fans out there. Recently, one of them moved away.
Now you're international.
Now we're international.
That's perfect.
Okay, thank you very much. We made it. All right, so we should probably start talking about this new. Have you heard the new album?
I have heard the new album, indeed.
I am so happy that everyone's listened to it.
I quite
That
enjoyed
I've heard.
it, yeah.
I've talked to a few people, and this is the first piece of art that we've put out in a while that I feel like we're getting lots of positive feedback for.
I hear a lot of like traditional heavy metal influence, lots of power metal, thrashy riffs. Like the vocal styles are like all over the place. It's fantastic.
Yes.
Like I'm
That sounds
listening,
like us, yeah.
listening
Yeah,
to the
that's-
first track on the album, and I'm like, oh wow, this kind of sounds like Labyrinth from Italy, the progressive power metal band. And,
Jesus,
and-
that's throwing it. Holy,
Yeah.
nice.
And then the next song is like, wow, these vocals kind of sound like one of Dark Throne's mid-albums that they put out like 10 years ago.
Definitely
Like, holy
not
shit, like, I'm-
AC/DC Dark Throne, but yes.
Yeah, no, not ECDC. Dark
You know what? To defend it, I actually really like that song, the newest one that they put out. But sorry, I get distracted. My bad. Anyways, yeah, I'm glad you enjoyed it.
I was going to say something.
You should probably just say it.
I'm also glad you enjoy it. I totally forgot what I was going to say, but yeah.
What about the new Dark Throne?
About the well, new Dark Throne's pretty good, dude. I really like the new Dark Throne song. I mean, I don't know if it had to be 7 minutes long, but
Yeah, right.
I could say that about every song I write too. So whatever.
Pretty
I think
much.
it's pretty
most of the
cool.
stuff. Okay, so let's get into the
The meat of the podcast.
let's talk about the concept. Okay, so essentially 3 years ago, we sat around a table in the dead of winter. I remember because I had to drive there, and we were brainstorming what the concept of the album was. We decided that we were going to do a concept, and I had 2 pitches that I wanted to throw out there. And I don't even remember really what the one was, the first one that I pitched. Was it zombies?
Okay, so actually, we had like one way worse concept before, and we came up with it on the way back from Abbotsford. Yes, and it was basically just us throwing BS around for like 6 hours on the way to and
Oh,
from.
yeah, because
Right.
of the construction
And
in
it had-
that.
yeah,
in-
we were stuck in construction. It took us 7.5 hours to get to Abbotsford. So
That's not unusual.
we had time to come up with a concept. And it had something to do with like a war on Earth and a war in heaven / hell at the same time. And like if you died in one, you went to the other, and it was basically way too
It got
ambitious.
way too
got way out of hand
elaborate.
before it even got started. Honestly,
Like, it never even got hit the paper, and it was like too big to even put. And we were like, how the fuck do we put that into like a 60 to 80 minute album? Let alone try to like save some money and do a 45.
So, but this is going to be a multimedia package. This is going to be an album. This is going to be a comic book. This is going to be a book.
Fuck,
right?
that's
And
right.
all-
That's right. It was it
all
was
of-
going to be a graphic novel. No,
So,
seriously, we went.
And
we
in
went
order to
out
get
of
the
fucking
whole
our way.
story, you would have had to have consumed all 3 pieces of material.
So you're basically selling out.
yeah, absolutely. We
Selling
have
out.
to do that.
Do you know how much I looked into the costs we would have gone broke doing what we wanted to do because like I started like talking to like artists who would do it and then graphic designers and just to
they'll
get
be about $500 a panel, buddy.
Yeah,
And- yeah,
exactly. And then you're like, whoa, that's way out of our budget there.
and like
Okay.
and we were like, how are we gonna be able to tell this story or this part of the story? And like it just everything just blew out of proportion. And we were like, hey, we gotta think of something different here. And then it was the heaven and earth thing that I don't even remember what that was. But then we pitched this concept of two clans in a valley experiencing drought.
Okay.
So, we ended up going with the two clans experiencing a year without rain kind of thing. And originally, we were going to call either the album or the novella that was going to go along with this "A Year Without Rain." But then it turns out, who was the person
So Selena Gomez released her CD "A Year Without Rain"
in
earlier this
2013?
year.
And you're like, well, we're both up here, so.
Yeah. Well, no, we were like we can't
Just so there
compete.
wouldn't be any kind of like beef on Twitter or the gram, we decided to let her have that.
We're worried about her reputation.
yeah,
so.
and move on and just come up with a different title.
You wanted to secure the hashtag.
Exactly.
Yeah, so we ended up not going with that. But so this album is a tale of two clans in a valley. One clan is at the top of the mountain, one clan is at the bottom of the mountain, and they're experiencing a drought. And one of the members of the Brazen Run clan, which is the River clan, the clan at the bottom of the mountain, basically doesn't believe that there is just no water. He looks up at the top of the mountain and he's like, there is got to be water coming down in this river because there's snow up there. It's like, this just doesn't make sense for this fucking river to be dried up.
Yeah.
And the clan leader's like, no, dude, there's no water. We got to walk to the lake. And he's like, but my mama, she's so upset. Her feet hurt. She has to carry the water. So he ends up getting really upset. And that's the opening song, Let the Gods Decide, where he challenges the clan leader to a fight to the death for leadership of the clan.
Okay.
So Let the Gods Decide, Erik, who is our protagonist, ends up taking on Malcolm Vangdahl and killing him.
oh.
You know what? I think we're just gonna go full spoilers in this thing, right? Like we can just openly talk about
It's the only
hide
way
anything.
anyone will understand anything.
Exactly.
So,
Yeah.
Definitely.
We just have to go all the way in.
All
yeah.
the
So
way.
anyway,
Yeah,
so
go for it, man.
so Erik basically beats him and rips his jaw off, and holds the jawbone above a bloodied corpse, and the clown pronounces him the leader.
That is the clown.
Is it clan? Clan.
Oh, the clan.
The clan.
So the
That's
insane
much better.
clown
Very
posse
metal of the clown. For
travels
sure.
in
Don't
time.
forget the clown.
Guys,
Don't forget
guys,
the clown. He's there.
Where did the clown go?
Space album, Insane Clown Posse travels through time and intercepts before Malcolm dies.
Okay, see, this is how we get out of control with.
Okay,
with the-
sorry.
I already see it. Yeah.
Back on track. Back on track. Okay. Yes. So, and then Drought and Deceit. Drought and Deceit is told from Sandor.
I'll explain this one.
Yes.
I
yes.
wrote it.
Yes. Yes.
Right? Yes.
I wrote this one.
Oh
right,
yes,
guys?
this is a perfect
So-
way to tell the story.
Yeah, there you go.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh.
the person who wrote the lyrics.
Perfect.
So,
Okay.
yeah, so in this one, a ranger from the Brazen Run clan has headed up the mountain to see what's going on. He kind of just took it upon himself to do that. And his name is Ulfrid, and he discovers what's been blocking the river.
Okay.
And it turns out the Gale Ridge clan up above in the mountain has dammed the river. Right?
Of course.
The two clans have been at peace for a while, but the leader of the Gale Ridge clan up on the mountain there, his name is Sandor, and he is very power hungry. He wants to rule over everyone, right? So he's decided, rather than engage in open warfare, he'll try to remove the source of the Brazen Run clan's water, and then they'll die, right?
Yeah, for sure.
So that's his plan. So Ulfrid, the ranger from Brazen Run, figures this out, and he's like, "Holy crap! There's the dam. That makes sense, right?" and it turns out he's discovered, right? So soldiers from the Gale Ridge clan find him, and he is ordered to be put to death.
Oh boy.
The leader of the Gale Ridge clan orders his son to do it because his son will be his successor, and he wants him to appear strong before the clan.
Sure.
So he says, go stab this spear through his chest, and then impale him on the dam, right? So
That
if
would be a good warning for
So
everybody
if the other
else.
clan comes up here, they'll get the message, right? Like, you want to do something about it, it's not going to work, right? We'll get you guys. So, the guy, his name's Hamble, right, Jesse? Yeah, Hamble, the guy's son. He wants to obey his father, but he's not as violent, say, as his father
Oh,
is.
you guys have concept art too.
So yeah, we do.
Wow.
So
Sweet.
So, Ulfrid is killed, and then Hamble goes to nail him to the dam, and he has a difficult time with it. And he kind of starts to, he screws it up. He has to drive it through the guy's throat because he's having trouble ramming it through his chest. And he also, that's where he starts to have like a moral dilemma. Like,
Probably should have practiced it.
probably
first.
should have practiced. But he starts to have this like moral dilemma, like why am I doing this? Like we just betrayed the peace that has been between the two clans for like years, and so he's starting to disagree with the way his father is taking things.
Okay.
Yeah, and I think that's that whole song.
Yeah.
What's that? Search Party is Jesse, so he can get on that one.
Yes. So. Okay. So yeah, Ulfrid is impaled on the dam, and Ulfrid's been gone for like a little while, and Erik, the new leader of the clan, starts to get worried that Ulfrid hasn't come back yet, and he's like, man, he's an experienced ranger, he should be back by now, and he's like, well, let's go send a search party to see him. So he sends 6 men to go up the mountain to go find Ulfrid, and they're wandering up the mountain. And then, by the time that they walk into the dam, when you're listening to the song Search Party, you're going to know the point in Search Party when they come through the forest and they're gazing up at this giant dam. It's this long, sweet, obnoxious part right in the middle of the song. It's amazing. I love it. Anyway, sorry, I'm drifting off and getting sidetracked. So they see Ulfrid impaled on the dam, and they're like, that's our buddy. Why is he impaled on the dam? There's a dam.
Why is there a dam?
Why is there a dam? Wait just a minute here. And so then they like start to getting a little bit closer, and there's a whole bunch of traps set up in front of the dam. And all of a sudden, boom, 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 like a couple of them get caught, and then a couple of them try to run. And then Thomas Ispel, one of the Gale Ridge members, shoots one of the guys with the arrow. One of them didn't quite make it out of the forest, and he sees everybody goes down, doesn't go try to help them, realizes that the best way to help his friends is to fucking let someone know before he's gone. So he takes off. I believe that was Terrence. No, Jacob gets hit and gets caught.
Never mind.
Yeah, so Terrence is the one who ends up going back and telling Erik. It's not. It's not. It's not. It's not. It's not. It's Terrence and Jacob. I actually have really cool side stories involving Terrence and Jacob that are probably going to get omitted from the story. The Boar story is going to get omitted. I hate it, but it's. I might write a song about it. So yeah, then Jacob gets hit in the leg, and then he goes down, and they basically take him in. They're like, okay, well, we've got one guy alive. Take a look around. So then Hamble has to go and take a look around to make sure that there's nobody else there. He looks around, doesn't see anybody, doesn't see that Terrence is hiding in the bushes, and then they take Jacob back for questioning. Next song, which is questioning.
And which one of you guys wrote that one?
Justin wrote it, but he forgets what it's about. So, being that I had to memorize the lyrics.
We wrote this song a very long time ago.
Yeah. So, when did we write? This is at least a year ago. You wrote the lyrics to this one. But anyways, I guess this is about a few different things. So this is about Jacob, the guy who was caught, but lived. Right, being questioned by the Gale Ridge clan. Like, why are you here? What does your clan know about this, and what have you? So just trying to get information. And then I guess there's also sort of like there's an inner questioning. Am I going to get out of here, and what's going to happen to us? And I believe you could also spin it so that like Hamble is still questioning, his reasons for doing things and his father's reasons
Sure,
for
double meaning.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
yes.
Yeah.
So everyone's questioning everything. Someone's literally being questioned. What do you know? And there is some inner turmoil for a few different characters as well.
Ooh.
Yeah.
All right. And that's just the gist of that song, hey?
Yes.
All right. So mobilize for war.
And Mobilize for War, yes, this one is about when I guess his name is Terrence comes back. I knew this and I forgot because
Whatever. No, his name is totally Terrence. I'm not.
No, I
it's
believe you.
written in the-
the reason I don't remember
Did
is
you
because
sing the name Terrence?
Terrence, his name does not appear on the album, but he is part of the story. So
Okay.
Jesse wrote a story, right? And
I wrote 35,000
yes,
words.
so it's quite complex, and then we kind of condensed it into the album, right? So Terrence comes down, he explains to the clan what's going on. He reports to Erik, they've dammed the river, that's why we're dying down here. Murdered Ulfrid, he's stuck up on a dam, and murdered the rest of the search party. So like they've essentially declared war on us.
Yeah.
And this is Erik saying, okay, we're not a very warlike people, but we are going to do the best we can. We're going to forge weapons, and we're going to mobilize everyone who is, physically fit to fight, and we're going to trudge up that mountain, and we're going to murder every Gaelridge that we find, and we're going to avenge the deaths of Ulfrid and our search party and what they've done to us. And we're gonna get our way
Destroy
of-
that dam.
yeah,
and
destroy
friggin'
that dam and get our way of life back.
Surf on top
Yeah.
of Ulfrid all the way back down to the village.
Absolutely. And I believe, that's it for that one.
Sweet. Oh, To Exile. Okay. So for To Exile, essentially what happens is mobilized for war. They're done questioning Jacob, and Sandor calls his son in, Hamble, and then he goes, so the Brazen Run clan is mobilizing for war, and they're on their way up the mountain right now. He's like, there is no way for them to find out that fast if they sent a search party up without one of them getting away. And so Sandor goes, he's like, it was your job to ensure that everyone was caught. Like, you had the resources to search the forest, and you didn't use them. So, like, what the fuck? You're supposed to run this. You're supposed to run our clan when I'm gone, Sandor says, right? So how can you do this if you're not being diligent? You need to take care of the safety of your people, and now the safety of your people is in jeopardy. He's like, you're not fit. He's like, so then he's like, get out of my face, leave. You're no longer my son.
Man.
And then Hamill's like, are you serious? And he gives him a little bag, and he says, put what you want in this little bag, and that's what you can have, and you leave. So he takes this little bag, and then he takes off.
Damn.
And so essentially he's removed from his family, he's removed from everything that he's known. And like, it's not that he liked his life and he kind of always pushed away from it, but he's leaving it. It's kind of a good thing for him because he didn't want that role, but it's also him being kicked out, right?
Yeah.
He also does one more thing before he leaves.
Oh
He
yes. Okay.
sets
Okay. Yes. So
a certain person free.
on his way out, one last deed: free the one who set you free. So the person they took in for questioning, Jacob, who was so they put him in a holding cell. They put Jacob in a holding cell, which is a really deep ass hole out behind the village called the Passage to the Niflhelm. And the Passage to the Niflhelm is subplot story too for another time. Essentially, it's the passage to hell. It's just a really deep hole that they can't see the bottom of. And they put him in there and they hold him in there. So right before he leaves, Hamble throws the rope down, and Jacob eventually pulls himself up, and then Hamble and Jacob just take off up north, up towards the dam.
Oh damn.
Oh damn.
Yeah.
Oh damn. Next one. Who wrote that one?
Go nuts, man. It's all you.
Man, I don't even know why it's been so long since I've written that one.
Talk about the sheep noise after.
oh, you want to get to that stuff? Okay, so
No. We'll talk about that after we do the concept.
after, yes.
So this song, we got to bring up this song afterwards just to go about the shenanigans. But anyways, I think maybe Tyler wants to talk about this one.
Yeah.
All right.
So the song is called "We March On," and that's basically literally what's happening in the song. It's just the Brazen Run clan continuing their march up up the mountain, Mount Magny, towards the Gale Ridge clan to fight them, and they're basically pumping themselves up for the battle to come, right? And that's
of course.
that's main. That's,
Beating the war drum.
That is yeah, exactly. That's the main gist of the song. You know, we've
Yeah,
left our home, we've left our families, but we're gonna kick some ass and we're gonna make things right.
Yeah, they gotta get fired up for
Yeah.
that war, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
It's a good song like that, yeah. The next song is Fenrir's Jaws. So 2/3 of the way up the mountain, or it's closer to half, is this. It's a waterfall, and it looks like the wolf Fenrir in the winter. So the way that the overhanging cliff goes, and then the ice dripping off into the icicles or whatever, it looks like a giant wolf. And the
it's
front of the album cover,
as well.
album cover
so if
is
you have
this.
no idea what we're talking about, it's the album cover.
it's
You
the
can look
album cover, which is
that.
Fenrir's Jaws, and that's the point where basically our battle happens. So Sandor, because he got word that they were mobilizing for war, he went and structured himself up at the top, lined the top full of archers, and said, "Well, we'll just take them out when they get there."
Sure.
So the Battle of Fenrir's Jaws, the boys, or the Brazen Run clan, breaks through the forest, sees the jaws, and they start to go up the side of the mountain. When they basically get pelted with a sky full of arrows,
Yeah.
and they're left with a choice. We got to run, or we got to fight, or we got to hide.
Well,
So they hide.
there wouldn't be much fighting going on.
And the way that they hide is instead of running backwards, they run forwards into the jaws of Fenrir's Jaws.
Okay, that makes sense.
Right?
Sure.
They can't hit them with the arrows because
Yeah.
everybody's over top of them. So they're basically up there.
And it's easy because the waterfall isn't running right now.
Yeah,
right?
they're-
It's
well,
been dammed
remember
off, so they
the
can just
water's
run
been
into the
dammed
cave
off,
and
right?
hide
Yeah.
in there and
Yeah.
make the
oh,
Gale
yeah.
Ridge come to them,
That's
right?
right, because there's no river.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So, yeah, they get set off on that side, and or they're hiding in the jaws, and they're basically like Emmerich says he's like, well, he doesn't say this particularly, but for our listeners, Emmerich basically goes, we're gonna go 300 style on these motherfuckers. We're gonna make them come to us, and then we're gonna do our best to, slaughter them.
Yeah.
Right? So Thomas Ispel, who takes Hamble's place in the Gale Ridge clan, leads the army and starts leading some of them around the side and then leaves a pile of archers on top because he's basically, sets up a siege trying to draw them out of Fenrir's Jaws, saying like, no, you know what? We can have food delivered to us. You guys are screwed. So we can hold this up. And then that takes us into the next song. Chaos Reigns, Silent Screams. Hey, so do you go into? I know the lyrics sort of, but do you go into why the dam breaks?
No, not really.
Do you mind if I set up why the dam breaks?
Yeah, go for it.
How the dam breaks. So the way that the dam breaks. So Hamble and Jacob took off north of the Gale Ridge clan towards the dam. After on his way of exile and Jacob's way of going out, because he knew that all of the Gale Ridge forces were going to Fenrir's Jaws, right, to go and meet them halfway. So as that's happening, they're marching north towards the dam, and Hamble's like, you know what, fuck this dam. Jacob's like, you know what, fuck this dam. And the whole point of the Gale Ridge clan is they're like fire and darkness, this kind of thing, right?
Okay.
So Hamble has a flint necklace, and he basically starts a little fire, and he sets the dam on fire.
Oh, damn.
He's like, you know what? We're just gonna light this up. So him and Jacob light the dam on fire, and then it eventually breaks.
Probably should have made it with like concrete or something.
Yeah, if only. This is where
But-
Justin comes in.
It's really simple, easy. It's really just about chaos and destruction. Everyone dies. It's really all it is. It's all I wrote it about, anyways.
Well, that'd be true to a metal song then, for sure.
Oh yeah, no, it makes for a good song for sure.
Yeah, so basically, like, because of the dam being sabotaged, like, it not only breaks the dam, of course, but unbeknownst to Hamble and Jacob, they basically end the battle, too. But the battle, unfortunately, ends with almost all of the warriors from each clan being wiped out, right? Because everyone basically drowns on their way down the mountain
Yeah, it gets washed
after
out.
the dam weakens and then eventually bursts, right? So now we're kind of back to square one after this song, right? The battle
Yeah.
has been decided as, I guess, a stalemate, or you could say, right, by the dam breaking.
Yeah, the dam
But
breaks.
also the Brazen Run have their water back, so that's
have-
that's
Well,
nice.
so it's a win for them, but like you
Yes.
said, it's also a stalemate because
But-
the actual war wasn't really
Yes,
won by
and now
anybody.
both clans have been kind of weakened as well, right, due to losing all their soldiers. Yeah.
Yeah, and so Brazen Run essentially wins. You know, pretty much. Like they're the least affected by everybody dying, and
And they're basically forced back into a peace now, right?
Yeah.
Because
Yeah.
as far as both clans don't really have an army anymore, and they're both kind of forced to rebuild from this point.
Now they have to work
So
together.
it's like a bittersweet
You've all got
victory, I
water.
guess. Yeah, exactly. And that's
Excellent.
basically what the last song is about. What tomorrow brings. I guess Justin could talk a little bit more about it, but it's basically both clans rebuilding after the war.
Yeah, no, that's really ultimately what it's all about, and it's just yeah, it's more or less like just about being like beaten down, and and just
quick look at this.
oh
This is the first
Oh.
Odinfist shirt that we ever printed.
Wow. Yeah, that's really nice. There you
There's
go.
only
OG
like-
right there.
There's only 10 of them in existence.
Well, one spotted in the wild.
Spotted in the wild. That's right. Sorry.
but yeah, no, just to finish that thought, it's just about being beaten down and just having like hope and determination about like obviously what tomorrow brings. Yeah,
Awesome.
But yeah, that pretty much sums
Yeah.
up
So
the album.
that's
That's actually a pretty cool story. I really like that. That's yeah, and I hear a lot of that in the music. I mean, now I've got to read the lyrics and follow along
yeah.
with it.
We gotta
right, to-
release the lyrics.
You gotta
I-
release
I
it.
need to put those out there somewhere. Yeah.
Is it not in the booklet of the album or anything?
The
we
packaging is rather
cheaped out.
simplistic.
Okay.
For the album, but yeah, we're gonna put them out on
You
like
were so elegant at putting stuff like that.
we're gonna put them on Bandcamp, right? So we'll put the
Excellent.
whole album will be up there with all the lyrics and everything too. I just need to do that.
Yeah. Gotta
It's
get around
It's
to it.
available on like every other digital platform there is, but the lyrics still need to get out there. And
Once I hammer through the rest of that novella, really cut a lot of it, cut it down. I really got off topic on a lot of things.
Well, you see, now
I can
you've
focus
got
it a lot more.
now you've got material for an EP where the songs are just basically offshoots of the main
I
story.
want to write the Jacob and Thomas Bohr story. That's
you go
freaking
right
unreal.
ahead. Well, maybe we'll let you do it.
You know what? We can just finish talking about. Okay, so the Thomas and Jacob Bohr story. So Terrence and Jacob.
You remember this one, Brad?
Terrence
No.
and Jacob. So Terrence and Jacob are also
You read the
rangers,
book and you still
and
don't
they're also rangers, and they're basically Emmerich and Ulfred's cross shift, and they're really lazy. So when they go out, they find the easiest way to get to kill something and bring it back to the clan for food. So they get this idea that if Jacob goes up onto the top of a tree and waits on above this game trail, and Jacob hides in the bushes, and Terrence hides in the bushes. When this boar comes by, Jacob will basically throw a rock and then drop down onto this boar and ride the boar into the clan, like into the village, so that they don't have to carry it.
Oh, okay. And then slaughter it
And
there.
then slaughter it there, yeah. And Jacob
Okay.
thinks that he can navigate this boar through the forest, and it goes awfully wrong. But then it goes right, but then it goes wrong again.
Okay.
That's
it's a roller
for the
coaster of
song.
of
It's a
emotions
roller
there.
coaster of emotions. There's lots going on there.
And I'd just like to point out that, like, believe it or not, somehow, this was, like, the simple version. Like this is our simple idea. This is like, oh yeah, we can definitely do that, right? And like, I don't know how long we just spent talking about that concept, but like, yeah, that was the simple one we went with.
What, this album?
This album, yeah.
Yeah, this was yeah.
Hearing it explained, I'm like, oh my god.
Well, there was a lot of moving parts. Like we didn't even go into like
I know.
like the old man,
I know,
like the
we
Sun
didn't-
Child. We
there's
didn't talk
so much
anything
we
about
did
the
not
Sun
go
Child.
into.
We didn't go anything more
And
into like
yes.
or the Jacob subplot about Emmerich's. I'm not even going to go into that. That's one of my
No.
favorite parts of the
Keep
book.
that a secret, man.
Keep it a secret.
Oh,
Totally, for
yeah,
the
that's
the
so
next time
good.
we get together and talk.
It's like a Hodor reveal.
Actually, well,
It made me almost cry at the
That
end.
was
Like I was
super
like
emotional,
oh
man.
my god, oh
That
my
really
god.
was. But what
Passes
I want
to
to
the
hear
nipple.
about
Oh.
is the sheep.
Huh. Okay, so we're a terrible band. We're
Well,
the
we all
worst.
know that.
We're the worst. We're the worst band that's ever existed
And that's because.
because we really like the band Halloween.
Okay, so you may have noticed we don't always take ourselves super seriously. And another band that doesn't take themselves super seriously is Halloween.
Okay.
Right? They
Yeah,
got
that's
lots of joke songs, lots of weird sound effects and stuff in their
Sure.
music, and
Dr.
they're just about fun, right?
Yeah.
So I think it was Brad, right, who mentioned there's a Halloween song from I think it's Keeper of the Seven Keys 3. It's called Mrs. God, and it's a ridiculous little like kind of pop rock song, right? That's and in the song We March On, it's kind of like a quick kind of like upbeat kind of song. And it kind of reminded, I guess, Brad of Mrs. God by Halloween. And then he's like, well, that has a stupid, like, cow sample in it. Like, literally of a cow mooing. It's like, there's, like, this weird breakdown where the instruments do, like, this weird, like, instrumental passage. And then there's a pause. And it goes, like,
So it skips the cowbell altogether
yeah,
and
it
goes
just
right to the cow.
like a cow mooing. And he's like, why don't we just do something stupid like that? Because the song kind of has, like, a pause in it. And it's like, da-na-na-na. And then it busts into the next part. And he's like, well, let's do that. And I said, okay, but it can't be a cow. So
So it was
now
a
it's a
sheep.
goat or a sheep.
sheep.
So
No,
it's like
it's a goat noise.
meh, right?
So being
that's-
Armstrong, you just drove down the street.
No. We had Tyler make a noise.
Yeah, I will proudly say that goat is all 100% me. That goat sound.
And you're going to do that live, right?
I'm gonna do it live. I've done it
Nice.
live every time we played the song.
Well, you just sampled it a little bit there, and it sounded all right.
Yes, exactly. So you can look forward to that as well. There's another stupid sound on there too.
What, the opening of the song?
No.
But like the rest of the song?
Okay,
No,
so this
no,
song.
the opening of the
check this
song.
out. This song had like 4 memes in it at one point, and now has 3. So the first being the stupid goat sound. Second, I have this like bar stool at my house, and it goes up and down, right, with a little lever, and it makes a stupid, obnoxious sound when it goes down. It's like this like squeaking sound.
Like the hydraulics or
And Brad's
whatever,
like,
right?
for
Yeah.
years, Brad's like, we should put that in a song, right? Because that makes sense, right? So let's
Yeah,
put it in a
because
song.
we're-
It'll make the song better. Like, okay, it's a
worst
terrible
band that's
idea.
ever
So we've already we've committed to one bad idea. Let's go 2. So we recorded that, like, just literally stuck the mic up to it, and Brad made that sound with the stool, and so that like goes along with like literally like the instruments go da 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 like a little breakdown thing, right? And the stool sound. Yeah, it makes this stupid sound with it, and then you get the goat sound. Listening to this explained sounds so stupid to me right now.
No
but
worries.
when
It
you hear
made
in the
sense
song,
when we did it.
and you'll be like, oh, that's the stupid thing they're talking about. And then the beginning, when we recorded it, Brad was just sticking around on the drums making noise, and it sounded hilarious when we played it back. So we just kept that. It's like a drum solo.
A drum,
In quotation marks.
quote
it's-
unquote.
No, it was him
Wait,
screwing
Justin can
around or
explain this
testing
one
the
better.
drums.
Yeah, it was just Brad testing the drums, and I ended up just like splicing the track a little bit, and it just sounded absolutely ridiculous. So then we kept it for the album.
Oh no, you said 3 memes. We and then the
That was
We
3.
kept 3. There was the 4th one, right?
and the end.
Yeah.
The end of the song.
We have 5 memes.
There's
Wow.
5.
I guess there was 5. So the,
Because the ending is retarded too. Like
the
that's
ending's
not.
dumb because it's like
It
it's
is
just an
dumb.
over the top, basically rock out ending with like a
Bam,
a
bam,
bunch of like
bam,
yeah.
bam, 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 bam.
You just have to listen to it. I'll let you listen to it. And it's
Seriously, when you
It
listen
makes
to
me
it,
want to listen to the song now.
it's like
it should.
a third of the song is like the ending. Basically, like
third of
a stupid rock. It's like a really quick, punchy, like punk rock kind of song, and then you get this like stupid, like rock out ending that's
We're
just
like-
ridiculous.
We're like, is there any way that we can hit more than 15 fake ending hits?
Yeah,
And
it's
we're like,
bam,
yes.
ban it, dan it. It just like
Yeah,
it keeps attempting to end and
okay,
it
can we
doesn't.
beat Lord of the Rings for most endings?
I'll let you count them and figure that out. And then we were also gonna have like a ripoff of "Dream On" by Aerosmith, except it was gonna be "March On," right? Because the song's called "We March On," so I was like screaming like "March on, march on, march until your dreams come true." Like "Dream On."
And you know what?
That's
We
hilarious.
had that in a final mix.
And it was in there. Like the guy mixed it. Like
And he left it in there.
Like Kyle mixed it in there, and hearing it played back, I was like,
No.
"That's too stupid."
No.
Like we've
No.
gone 5
can't.
stupid things is too many. So I guess we finally cut that. So that's not in the final version on the
Part
album.
of the time is like a
'Cause-
10-minute song where like 7 minutes is just stupid.
Believe it or
shit.
not, it's like 3 minutes long.
Yeah.
Well, it is now.
Yeah, it is now. But yeah.
But it is like a third
There were
ending.
so many vocal things happening near the end too, like a lot of layers. Like that just cluttered it up a lot.
Yeah.
And even if it was funny, it was just that one was actually a detriment to the song. I'll
And is
admit that.
everybody gonna get it? Like,
No. Yeah.
Nothing.
Sorry.
No.
The other ones are funny. Were funny
do.
enough to us that we kept them, and that one was just a little too much. So
Yeah.
it ended up getting cut.
so if I had to ask, what is your guys' favorite song on the album?
Ooh. Okay, let's go around the table. Jesse, start
What's
first.
your favorite song, and then what's your favorite song to play live? I mean, you probably haven't played
Yeah.
live in front
Okay,
of
so
people
my
yet with
my
it,
favorite
but-
song to listen to is probably "Drought and Deceit," because it's just the. Okay, so a couple of different things. First of all, that like brum, 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 like brum, 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 brum. That was a joke riff. What happens? Okay, so what happens is Tyler thinks of the worst possible thing that he can play. And then like one of us will go somewhere else, and then basically he'll start playing the worst riff that he can think of. Brad will start drumming to it. One of us will start figuring it out, and then we'll all agree that it was terrible and we should never do it again, and then we do it again.
But this one actually started with Brad. It started with a drum pattern that was stupid, and I just wrote like this shitty guitar part to it, and it was like, that works. I'm like, what if we played as a band? And we're like, that's not as bad as it sounded at the beginning. So,
And
like,
that's
can we
how
fit into a
make
song?
music.
Probably not. And then I'm like, guys, like a week later, like, guys, it's in a song now.
Yeah.
So Brad ended up making this shitty riff, and it ended up becoming like probably my favorite part of the whole album. It does. It does. In context, it sounds good. It ended up being written well. Well, for example, like the Old Lighthouse was a joke. Like
Yep.
the album that we did beforehand. Like the song Old Lighthouse has the opening riff, and the opening riff was a joke because it was terrible. And in context, it ended up being, again, one of my favorite riffs on the album.
Yeah. You never know how that's going to turn out. Okay, I've listened to the song you're talking about, and
Drought and Deceit?
yeah, Drought
Yeah.
and Deceit, and I honestly don't know what riff you're talking about because I enjoyed the whole song. So either I'm shitty at listening to music,
It's okay. We're shitty at writing it.
or you guys think you're
It
shitty
just-
at writing it, and you're really good.
Well, we fake it really well then.
There you go. Fake it till you make
It's
it.
just in the moment something seems dumb, or just like, you're jamming, and like, what good ideas do you keep? What ideas do you throw away? And like, some of the ideas that seem absurd at first actually end up working.
Sure.
Like Jesse mentioned, the riff in Drought or Deceit, or even on the Old Lighthouse. It's like, for a while we just jammed it as a joke, and then it turned into like a big long song, and it works.
But that's very real too, because
Yeah.
you could easily be like, "That's shitty. No one's gonna like it." But you don't care if no one's gonna like it. You care that you guys want that in the music. Or
Exactly.
maybe you care if people like it. I don't know.
No,
Just pulling shit out of my ass, maybe.
if we've done anything with our discography, these albums are for us. They're
Yeah.
not for anyone else. Like, we don't care if any other people listen to them. We don't care if people come to our shows. We write these songs for us, and then we play them for us, and that's it.
Yeah.
Full stop. If other people enjoy it, great.
yeah.
But
join the party, cool.
Yeah. Totally. Yeah.
exactly. I also love Drought and Deceit. That's my favorite song on the album. The one that surprised me the most was To Exile. When we played that as a band originally, I was like, I don't know if this should be on the album full at all. And like, I was really worried about it. And then it came together really well. And the end recording is fantastic. It's easily my favorite.
Oh wow, that's awesome. That's great.
I'll let Justin talk next, but I will talk more about 2XL when he's done. Because,
Okay.
yeah.
Yeah, it's hard for me to pick a favorite here. It would probably have to be either Mobilized for War or What Tomorrow Brings, honestly. They're just both very melodic songs. Yeah.
Yeah, Justin likes melodies. He writes a lot of melodies.
Every song I write
So
is melody.
if you hear a little like meadly like guitar part over another riff, like that's Justin. And
my favorite.
You got to add your own little flair in there, right?
exactly.
As for My Chemical Romance, Brad, he's curious. That's what my favorite song is. I think.
So okay, what's Justin's favorite My Chemical Romance song?
Frick, what the heck is it? Famous Last Words. That's the one. All right.
Okay.
All right, next.
Okay. Thanks. I don't. My favorite My Chemical
gonna pull
Romance
up a
song
random
is.
band now.
What about that Teenagers
Let me
one?
pick
That's
Teenagers. That's a
yeah.
great song. I've
Yeah.
never heard it before.
I don't know if I've ever listened to them before.
I might have, but anyways, my favorite song on the album.
You need to see a list of it again.
Yeah, which is stupid because I know all the songs.
We've
but
all got it up on Spotify.
I think
on our phone.
I just.
I've got the My Chemical Romance album that I really like.
I would like to say
Cubicles is one of my favorite My Chemical Romance songs.
There you go.
I'm gonna go ahead and
It's awful. In an Odinfist kind of way, right?
I think we have a new cover song. We'll have to. I don't know. We'll have to hear it first. Black Parade. Okay.
That's one that everybody knows.
Jesse, I'm picking
He's
my favorite
getting to know
song.
it right now.
Anyways, I'm gonna. I don't know. I really like all these songs. I like Drought and Deceit because, and this is gonna sound conceited, but I wrote that one, and I've for a longer song, I feel like it is well composed. A lot of my songs can get out of hand, and then we either have to cut them back or just not play them.
Yeah.
But that one worked out. Mobilized for War is similar in that regard. It's also neat. I cannibalized a riff in Mobilized for War that was from like the band Brad and I were in back in high school.
Oh.
Yeah, so this little guitar melody is stolen from a song that's like 15, 16 years old.
Wow.
But I think the song that surprised me the most and that is my like the favorite I wasn't expecting is To Exile, like Brad mentioned. And it's just because somehow the arrangement we put together worked out just beautifully on the recording. Basically, it's like a sort of like a folksy ballad. Jesse wrote it all on a classical guitar. So basically, it sounds like a Jesse Valstar project song. That's his solo stuff, and it's very similar to that. And I was like, yeah, that's a sweet song. And like, he wanted to use it for Odinfist.
It's also has the best bass playing on the album.
I believe it.
Spoiler alert: I played the bass on that one.
Oh, on that
Yeah,
one. Oh,
so
you got me
this
there.
song-
Oh, wow.
guitar on that album.
This song has a complicated story. So yeah, Jesse wrote it all on classical guitar, and he wrote all the lyrics and all that, and he just showed it to us. And like, yeah, we can. Like, is that going to be a acoustic kind of ballad song, or because we had songs like that prior? And he's like, no, I want to do like a full band arrangement. So we jammed it a few times, and it was honestly learning it at first was shaky. Because it's like, all right, like, am I going to learn the same finger picking thing he's doing and like double it? Is he going to play bass? What's Justin going to do? Like, Justin ended up playing like kind of like harmonies and like the melody on his electric guitar.
Melodies.
I had no plan. For how
No,
we
Jesse
were gonna
Jesse
go
didn't have
into
a plan.
this.
But it ends up sounding great. So long story short, Jesse plays all the classical guitar on it. We ended up with Justin playing along with like the main melody of the guitar with like a distorted electric guitar, so sort of like a lead guitar sound.
Okay.
Brad's drums are pretty laid back and sort of ambient sounding, and the production, the way Kyle mixed it with the drums and the way they just boom kind of in the background just sounds just awesome in this song. And then I played the bass for some reason, and I sang it because that's what I do. And yes, I'm gonna play bass live tonight on that song, and the bass part's good enough, I feel. And I also we added a bunch of guitar layers in there, and I was worried it was gonna sound crowded and kind of overwrought, basically.
Yeah, yeah.
But it just worked perfectly. It was it
great.
was just enough to sound good. There's used slightly different tones than we usually use. The song just sounds different and great, which is why why I like it, because it's
Well, it definitely sounds a
Yeah.
bit more experimental for you guys.
yeah, it is, but it still sounds tight and to the point, and it's a good song.
And did you enjoy doing that then?
I did.
That was different than the other
Absolutely,
songs or other
and
albums?
I'm very happy like now that we can play it together properly, because it kind of came together as we recorded it.
Yeah.
But now that we can play it live, like it sounds great. I love that
Well,
song.
I'm looking forward to hearing
Yeah.
that. That's awesome.
All right, tell what tomorrow brings.
What?
Backstory.
Oh,
Backstory on what tomorrow brings. That song is older than probably
man.
a couple of our albums.
Oh,
We
really?
wrote that
Yeah.
song a very long time ago.
yeah.
Yeah.
This is like the 2012 thing that you're
Yeah,
talking
this
Yeah,
would
about.
so-
have been like.
What Tomorrow Brings was written before we did the Rest in Glory album, which is our 2012 album.
Wow, there you go.
And yeah, that song was way bigger then as well, because that was going to be our like 15-minute epic or something like that. No, that is a different one.
That's a different one. Sorry to sorry to interject, but it was like Justin was kind of writing this ballad, and it got bigger and bigger. There were different riffs in it too at first, right?
Yes, it was.
So
Yeah.
long story short, when we were writing stuff for Rest in Glory, Justin kind of just disappeared and left the band for a while.
Yeah, I left the band.
But
for a
before
few
he did,
years.
he wrote
Okay.
this song, and we learned it. We even played it once.
Okay,
I swear to
so
God, we played it live. I don't remember.
Barlow,
But he resurrected it for this album, right? He's like kind
So-
of rewrote it.
Yeah.
a quick one on that. So he wrote that before him and the band parted ways back in 2012 or 13?
11.
11?
Yeah,
2011. So he wrote that prior to that. And then we did Rest in Glory as a 3-piece. And on the cover of Rest in Glory, we decided to give Justin a Viking burial on the cover of it. So if you ever look at the cover of Rest in Glory, it's 3 people standing on a beachside with a burning boat in front of it. And in the burning boat, there's a little guitar stock, and it was Justin's guitar head. It was us killing Justin on the album cover. and it goes back to Brad's piece about the fact that like in our band, we do everything for us. And no one else really knows about that album cover, but we find it very funny, so we do it.
There you go.
And Justin, talk about how you rewrote the song. That's exciting.
Oh, how I rewrote it. Man, what did I do?
I don't know. Like it has the same main like clean part, right? It's like a power ballad, I guess.
Yeah,
But the whole middle section is completely different.
Yeah, it was basically one of those things. It was like, man. Yeah, I just really like power ballads and like especially like Metallica style ballads, I guess. More or less how like you look at stuff like One and I guess even Fade to Black, it cranks at like the bridge.
Yeah.
And so yeah, basically I just rewrote it, so it was just like
Rewrote it to sound like Metallica.
yeah, I figured, hey, we're like over like 20, 30 years late, but hey, what if we
And I just want to say the lyrics and the melody you came up with for this version of the song
Yeah.
are very memorable and good compared to whatever we were doing.
Oh,
So
yeah.
there's been 3 versions of this song. The original one, Jesse's Dream World, and
Oh,
then the
that
one that you
was-
guys hear now.
that was the
Yeah, we
joke.
basically wrote a version of the song just mocking the album concept, calling it Jesse's Dream World.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
And they went as far as to record like vocals for it. They put a video online about it.
It's probably still up there.
No, it was basically just a super huge inside joke to razz me
Just because.
for being creative.
Exactly. You're a bass player. How dare you come up with an idea?
Yeah.
And then force us all to go along with it. And it turns into a whole album. But it's fine, Jesse. It's fine. A Netflix original series.
It could be.
Russell Crowe.
Starring Russell Crowe. Yeah. He's already got this figured out. Oh, you.
Yeah, was it Matt Damon? You don't.
Yeah, this is gonna be a
We were
huge,
gonna throw around
huge
Netflix
budget.
money. Is what we were gonna do.
Netflix's biggest
Essentially.
show yet.
Do you have other questions, sir?
No, I think you guys went over the album quite thorough. Yeah, I'm very pleased
Yeah, I
with
think
it.
so.
Did we?
What you did.
Even I learned a few things.
Do we want to talk about reoccurring themes? Do we want to talk about Brad?
Actually, talk about writing the album.
Oh yeah, that's an interesting.
I just want to add,
process.
8 out of the 10 songs got a code name that stayed after the. Basically, like we throw code names up on a whiteboard for this album, and yeah, 8 out of the 10 we didn't change it. We just left it.
No way. Dude, let me read this.
I'm right.
Okay, I see. Well, Let the Gods Decide always had a title, so we're not going to call that a code name.
Round Deceit and Chaos.
Rain, Silent Screams.
Silent Screams are the only 2 that are new. Everything else stayed exactly
You are correct, actually. Okay.
Yeah.
I don't want to count What Tomorrow Brings and Let the Gods Decide as having code names, though, because they
Yeah,
were
What
like
Tom-
almost. Those were almost real titles
Oh,
as
What
they
Tomorrow
were
Brings,
being
that's
written.
100% what I had in mind.
But
for
Brad
years.
is right in that like only 2 songs got like a title change once we wrote real lyrics to it. Because when we write a song, we come up with just a stupid name.
Yeah, just
Or
to cover it
for this
now.
one, it wasn't stupid because these all had to fit like a concept for the album, right?
Yeah,
so
of
like,
course.
Like, oh yeah, there's got to be a search party, and at some point someone has to get questioned, and then they have to get ready for war, and then they're going to be marching, right? So, but and most of them just sounded like good song titles, so we kept them for the most part.
Well, keep the story
Yeah,
going. It's like
exactly.
chapter names, right?
So about writing the album. So just talk about reoccurring themes. I really like what we did with it. Like
The album's super like it's we tried really hard. Like we worked.
We put some effort in.
We did put some effort into this album. It sounds like you should put effort
Yeah.
into it all, but like I don't know, we planned a lot more than we normally do.
Yeah, so Jesse mentioned reoccurring themes, and he means like musical themes or ideas or melodies that reoccur throughout the album. And I always thought that was cool.
There was no way we weren't doing
At the point in time, right before we started writing this, Dream Theater put out The Astonishing. Right, they're like 2-disc, which I actually don't really like that album anymore. But when it came out, I was like, oh, it's cool how they repeat ideas and stuff. And they've done that for years too on like different albums too. And they're like one of my favorite bands. So I'm like, cool, we can rip that off. We can totally steal that. For example, I'll just give you one example, but there's lots. Like there's a little melody in the chorus of We March On, and we kind of altered that and played it in a different key. So we played it lower, right? That's kind of like a chugging riff. So the melody, we kind of turned that into like a more thrashy riff, but it's still like the same notes, just in a different key, right? And we use that as the main riff for Let the Gods Decide.
Okay, yeah.
Right, and I know Justin plays like this neat little melody in his solo in Search Party, and that ends up being the main melody in What Tomorrow Brings, and so on and
Okay,
so
yeah,
forth.
I
There's a
see
few
that.
examples of that, and
I
Brad
like
wants to
when
say
bands-
something.
When bands do that, occur the melodies or themes or lyrics.
Yeah, so our original plan was to have like almost an Imperial March kind of riff that was going to reoccur every time we were going to do a Gale Ridge Clan song. So there was going to be this like darker riff that would kind of like happen every time we were going to do something that was Gale Ridge focused, and that ended up, and then a lighter one to represent the Brazen Run.
Yeah.
But that got kind of axed just with the full reevaluation of the story and the way the concept album was put together. Because this is a more character-driven story than where we started. We were
it
on a
started in a
bigger
different
picture
place.
in the original
Yeah.
concepting. So so
Once
when
you
we,
get down to the details, you realize that you got to focus more on the characters and developing their story.
Yeah. Yeah, and so I don't know. Like, there's a couple other ones. Like, what Tomorrow Brings, for example. Like, we use that that melody in one of the solos. But where do we use that? It's in one of the solos in one of the songs, I think.
Search Party.
Search Party, yeah. And then in Questioning, I believe. No, it's not Questioning. And then in Drought and Deceit, we use a riff from Fenrir's Jaws, except we move the key, so it's in a different piece. And then yeah, like I don't know, we did that a few times. I think 2Exile, we ended up stealing something from 2Exile and put it somewhere, or at least we had planned it.
I don't know if that happened.
I don't remember. But yeah, anyways, I need to sign off here, and I need to go and start doing
That's all right.
stuff here. But I'll leave you with these guys to close. Just in my closing words on the album, I have to say that, like, you know, I'm glad we did it. I'm glad that, like, we decided to go, like, we recorded it ourselves, and it took way longer than expected. But, you know, it was worth it to figure out that we need someone.
Yeah. The thing is,
we
we
need someone to
tried
do it, right?
we tried everything new at once on this album.
Yeah, we tried a whole bunch of new things. We broke
went,
our
like,
format.
Yeah, like we're gonna do concept for lyrics. We're gonna like repeat stuff in the songs. Right? We have to like actually think about the running order of songs before we record
Jesse's gonna
stuff.
write it and
Right?
develop
Yeah.
for
Jesse's
us.
gonna write a story that goes with it. We're gonna record it ourselves and send it off to be mixed instead of like in a studio. We're gonna do all these things, and it all happened at once, and it was just like, wow!
See-
like learning to manage that was totally
See, hearing
different
about
for
the
us.
fact that, like, you know, you've heard that Odinfist is a band that's managed to stay together, that's put out more than one album. Well, the reason why is because we've had this format where it's winter record, put out the album, next winter write, next winter or that summer hang out, do a couple festivals, and then the next winter record. And then, like, we did this for like a couple of years. Next thing we know, we've got a variety of EPs and LPs out, and then there we are. But yeah, no, I'm very happy that we did the album, and thanks for having us on.
Yeah, no worries, man. I'll have you back, Jesse. We'll talk about Armstrong Metal Fest again sometime soon. I'm going to just say that when Odinfist decides to put their album on Bandcamp, check out their Bandcamp and purchase it on there if you can't come out to a show and buy it at the
should be
live
this
show.
weekend. I'll get it all up on Bandcamp.
Excellent.
Yeah, and it's available on like every other streaming download platform you can think of, and the CDs will be available to be ordered as well on
Fantastic.
Bandcamp. Yeah.
And if you can come out to the shows, make sure to buy a T-shirt or a patch or a hat or whatever else merchandise they have. And I'd like to thank you guys for being here to explain the album.
Yeah.
And we'll have you on again soon sometime.
Sounds great. Thank
Yeah,
you.
thanks
Thanks,
for
guys.
having us.
Yeah.